Investors could be getting huge news from Tesla today. The company has an event later this afternoon. It's calling We Robot. And the speculation is the company is going to be showing its long rumored autonomous taxi. It's something that investors are expecting to be a big part of the company's profits going forward. Let's talk about it. We're going to go through what the company is speculated to announce, what are the potential implications, and also look back at Tesla's history of vehicle announcements, launches, and the results from it. Before we get into the details, though, I'm Jason Hall. This is Investing Unscripted. This video is sponsored by the Motley Fool. For those that don't know, the Motley Fool recommended Tesla stock years before it became a massive winner. They can help you find great investments. And if you're looking for even more great stock ideas, you can get access to some of the Motley Fool's best. Go to our special link. It's fool.com/unscripted. Again, fool.com/unscripted. Go to our link and you can get access to the Motley Fool's 10 best stocks to buy right now. Be sure to check that out. Okay, let's start here. This is what is live on Tesla's website. I'm recording this a little before 11 a.m. Eastern, October 10th. And you see the countdown going. It's about 11 hours from now before this event gets going. Again, they're calling it We Robot. And I'm sure we're going to see a couple things. We're almost certainly going to hear about the autonomous taxi. We're probably going to hear more about their robot that they've been working on for a long time. We're going to see, I'm sure, more about that. Because the bottom line is this, as much as Tesla today is a car company, essentially all of its revenues come from cars. The vast majority of its revenues and profits come from cars. Yes, they have the battery division as well. A lot of the revenue for that goes to their battery manufacturing partners. So they don't get all the business from there. Their solar business has become steadily a smaller and smaller percentage of the total business. It's never really gotten a ton of traction there. So again, Tesla's business is really still all about cars. The auto taxi, of course, is going to build on that with autonomy, the ability to generate revenue from ride hailing and ride sharing. So we're going to learn more about that today. Now, I think here's the key, though. One of the things investors really need to understand about Tesla is their timeline of introducing products and then how long it takes before those products come to market. Tesla has done incredible things, starting with the Roadster, which was the proof of concept vehicle, and then launching the Model S, which became the best-selling luxury sedan in the world. Again, not electric vehicle, overall, the best-selling luxury sedan in the world in its category, outselling Mercedes, BMW, other sellers as well. Incredible success. Then the launch of the Model 3 become one of the best-selling vehicles in the world. Definitely the best-selling electric vehicle in the world. More recently, we've seen it go back and forth with one of its larger competitors in China that's selling a lot of units as well. But it's incredible what the company has accomplished. Okay, let's go back in time a little bit. I want to set the stage and make sure investors have really good, reasonable expectations of how this could play out. We'll start with the Model 3. There are other vehicles that are a little bit older that were announced a little bit older. But I want to talk about the Model 3 first, because I think this is the best example of Tesla's massive success. This is right on their Model 3 website right now. You see the pricing, you see the specifications, the things that make it so attractive and so appealing is that it's a high quality, high performance, relatively affordable electric vehicle, great range, good performance, all of the things that people want, the styling that's really attractive. First word about the Model 3 came out really back in 2006 when Elon Musk, of course, the founder, CEO of Tesla, started talking about the idea of having this affordable car, this affordable sedan that would meet more of the mass market and less of the focus on the luxury market. All of the things they've done. The Model 3 was really like the accelerant of that. Now, let's go back in time, though, and talk about some dates. 2006, 2007, that development got started. Mid-2014 was when the Model 3 was announced. Of course, the other Tesla vehicles are all the S, the X, the Y, and the sedans. You look at it, you got the S, the 3, the X, and the Y. Spells sexy, right? I promise you that was not an accident that Musk did that. But here's the point. It was really 2019 before we started seeing deliveries really ramp up for the Model 3. So again, vehicle rumors were first coming out back in 2006. 2014, it was announced. 2019, so years before it started actually getting meaningful progress. Of course, it's been a massive, massive success. I don't want to undermine that reality at all. It's been a massive success and a huge reason Tesla has generated the profits that it has taken as much market share as it has from traditional vehicles, and really still has that great path forward to grow its automotive business over the long term. Now, let's talk about some, we could call them less successful product launches Tesla has had. Okay, Tesla Semi. Let's lay the background here. Why the Semi? Shifting into heavy-duty commercial transit's very different than manufacturing cars. What was the focus? When it comes to operating these Class 8 heavy-duty vehicles, operating costs are substantial cost. Diesel fuel is expensive. Also, cost of labor for drivers. Tesla said, we can release a battery-powered electric vehicle that the cost of operation is a fraction of what it is to run a diesel-powered truck, and introducing autonomous driving over time can help reduce operating costs even further. When was this product first announced? First mentioned back in 2016, but the unveiling happened in late 2017. So 7 years ago, basically. To date, less than 200 semis have been delivered, and probably roughly half of those are actually being used in commercial operation. The company has plans to ramp up its manufacturing in coming years, but so far, Semi just hasn't moved the needle. 7 years later, and it just hasn't moved the needle. But what's up next? Well, people tend to have very strong opinions about Cybertruck, either one way or the other. Not a lot of people in the middle here, love it or hate it with the Cybertruck. A couple things have happened with the Cybertruck since it was announced. It was first rolled out, $40,000 as the introductory price for the base model, all the way up to well over $100,000. When was the Cybertruck announced? November 2019 is when the concept vehicle was rolled out, and Tesla said we would have it in production in late 2021. That's the plan, late 2021. Needless to say, things certainly took a lot longer to play out. It's really been only in the past year that we've seen production for Cybertruck really start to ramp up. It also still hasn't really moved the needle so far. Somewhere around 12 to 15,000 Cybertrucks have been produced so far. Also, they've pulled that base model, that $40,000 roughly starting price vehicle has been pulled. They're only doing the higher end ones now. And it's a tough vehicle to manufacture. That stainless steel, the straight lines versus curved lines. And there's certainly been a lot of mixed response by buyers as they've received the vehicles, and time has gone by. So it's yet to see whether the Cybertruck's going to be the big hit that many were expecting and investors were hoping that it would be. We can go back to a quote that Musk made probably 6 or 7 years ago. If Tesla really wanted to go after the automotive market, particularly in North America, they would really need to focus on the vehicles that have the most vehicle miles driven and have some of the largest market share. And that's light duty pickup trucks. The Ford F-Series, General Motors pickup line, these are some of the best selling vehicles in the United States consistently, very strong customer loyalty. They're also really profitable. Here we are about a year into the commercial launch of the Cybertruck, and the results are pretty paltry. And it doesn't seem like it's really aggressively taking market share away from the light duty pickup truck market in the US for full size pickup trucks. At the same time, you can make the argument, well, Ford's not selling a ton of F-150 Lightnings. Maybe it hasn't been the massive success that Ford was expecting. So maybe it's less about the Cybertruck and more about just the truck market not ready to fully start navigating over to fully electric vehicles yet. Only time is going to tell. But again, the point is, many years after the product was announced, before it came commercial. Okay, let's go full circle. Back to We Robot coming this afternoon. You can see we're still about 11 hours away as I'm recording this video. What does all of the stuff that we just talked about mean for the product announcements that we're going to see later today? Here's a couple of takeaways. Number one, we talked about the time it took from when the product was announced before production started, and then the results. Again, looking at the Cybertruck, looking at the Model 3, the Semi, the realities of those three. So far at least, the Model 3, the one that's only really been a big commercial success. It's been a massive, massive success building off of the Model S. We haven't seen that happen with the Cybertruck or Semi yet. Their stories are still playing out, but that's the key. So far, that's the one that's been the big success. What's going to happen with Robotaxi? What's going to happen with its other robotics products that they're probably going to be talking about extensively this afternoon? Well, I think the first expectation investors have to have is that it's going to take a long time from the announcement of the product before it actually enters commercial production. I think it's almost every year for the past probably 6 or 7 years, Elon Musk has said, I'm paraphrasing, some version of, I'm confident that we will have full self-driving that's better than humans within a year. And then he says it again the next year. I'm not dissing or slamming Elon Musk at all. Elon Musk is noted for having incredibly aggressive goals, and it always taking much longer to accomplish those goals, and sometimes not accomplishing them. You look at the acquisition of Solar City to bring that solar business inside to help diversify the business and really expand as part of like Tesla's total goal of being like the modern 21st century transportation and energy company. And that just hasn't worked out. But the company has been transformative in changing the way the world thinks about electric vehicles and about transportation in general. And that's been wonderful for humanity, I believe. And certainly over the long term, it's been incredible for Tesla shareholders. Maybe not so great more recently, been a disappointing investment more recently for investors. Now, looking forward, what does that mean? I think it means that we have to be really mindful about expectations. It's really easy in this digital age to see a product like OpenAI, we'll use as an example with ChatGPT, went from not even a product to over 100 million users. You can't do that with vehicles. You actually have to manufacture them, line up suppliers, get your supply chain lined up, bring production online, get your factories together, get your automation in your factories, hire workers to work in those factories, and actually build the vehicle. It takes years to accomplish all of those things. And oh, by the way, autonomous driving is basically not legal in most of North America. There's a few little pocket areas where it can operate. So there's a big regulatory hurdle that nobody has ever really gotten over in a mass market way that has to be accomplished before these vehicles can be viable in terms of generating the cash flow, margins, and profits that Tesla investors are expecting. That's a huge hurdle. That's on top of all of the challenges of just manufacturing a vehicle, which is very difficult just to do that well. So I think investors should be very mindful and keep their expectations really low and expect this is going to take a lot longer than we expected, because it already has taken a lot longer than we expected. So I think investors should be really mindful of that. So we're going to get a ton of hype today. I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to take a long time, if ever, as we've seen from Cybertruck and Semi so far, years and years after they were announced, still not really adding meaningful value to the business. Is auto taxi really going to pay off? We don't know. But we're going to learn a lot more than we did before, and we can start forming a more strong thesis around whether it's a viable thing from there. I know it's a lot to digest. Be mindful about it. Be thoughtful. Have fun checking out We Robot this afternoon. I'll have more to say about it sometime next week, but we'll see you then.